I give up, people. I try and tell you this every single week when there's a Champions League week. It is undefeated. Screw your Premier League, screw your Serie A, screw your Bundesliga. UCL Knights are undefeated. What we just witnessed in these two games gives you two spectrums of football. I mean, Atleti Leverkusen put on a show. But Benfica and Barcelona, I mean, you went to Pluto with that game. What? We're gonna break down both games, people. I need to have a sip of water. Let me know what you're drinking, Barca fans. What are you drinking after that game, or what are you eating tonight after that game? Insanity. Like, this is why I love the Champions League. This is why I love Champions League football and international football more than anything, people. Is because it's just the emotions. It's just the drama. It's just a beautiful cinema that you're watching in front of you, and we get to capture it and we get to enjoy it as football fans. Of course, as a neutral, it's great to watch these two games. If I was a Benfica fan, I would be pissed off. If I was a Bayer Leverkusen fan, I would be pissed off about these two games. But let's try and break it down, right? We're just going to do our raw emotions. And obviously, Thursday, we have the live show where we review the entire match day 7 on the channel. So join me for that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, if you're also a fan of Champions League football, because it is the best competition by far. First, we're going to talk about Atleti 2 by Leverkusen 1. Is this not the most El Cholo game you have ever seen in your life, people? We'll get to Julian in a second. But they get the red card. Barrios, okay, in slow motion, it looks pretty bad, right? In real time, it didn't look so bad. It didn't look like Barrios was trying to injure the player. But VAR, slow motion, you see the studs up on the calf. Barrios, you're sent off. Silly mistake by him, but it's a necessary red card. Okay, then Leverkusen take the lead with Hincapié. Great header, great cross from Mukiele. I thought Leverkusen, they tactically outclassed Atleti in that first half. Like Xabi Alonso got it perfectly down to a T. Palacio and Xhaka was finding all sorts of space. Wirtz was creating a lot of good magic. And then the second half happens. And the second half was Atleti. If you want to see the definition on Oxford Dictionary of El Cholo, just put in Atleti versus Bayer Leverkusen, January 21st, 2025. You're going to see it right there. Because that is the most purest of like grinta, of just pure emotions and just playing off the crowd and playing to having a will to win the game. Yeah, Atleti didn't play pretty football. They were down to 10 men for most of that game. And yet they still kept it 1-0 and they didn't allow Bayer Leverkusen anything in that second half. I thought Jimenez was the guy with his shithousery off the ball is great, but I would be frustrated as a opponent. But him and his defending in that second half was unbelievable. And then the goals. Now let's get to Julian Alvarez. Because people said that he was going to flop. Why are Atleti paying so much money for this guy? Oh my God, he's just a bench warmer. He sets up the cones. He gets the water bottles at Manchester City. Julian is a big game player. Do we need to show examples? Just go to the World Cup and there you go, people. Julian, I love this player. Just something about him. Even watching him at River Plate, this guy showed up at Super Clásicos against Boca. He would always show up. And Julian is now taking this role at Atleti. Him and Griezmann, a wonderful partnership. You see that ball over the top from Griezmann, great pass. But, Julian was doing the spin Rooney on Jonathan Tah in that second half. Barcelona, if you're watching Jonathan Tah, don't sign him. And I can tell you this already from last season, Jonathan Tah is not a great center back. He is good in this formation and good with these tactics from Xabi Alonso. He will get exposed in space. It's exactly what happened. Julian just did the spinner Rooney on him. Great left-footed shot, and it's 1-1. And then you just knew that Atleti were going to try their hardest to get a player sent off from Bayer Leverkusen, and it almost worked on Wirtz. Maybe Wirtz should have been sent off. I don't really think so. I think it would have been very harsh. But then Hincapié gets sent off with the second yellow card, and then guess who scored again, people? The calmness. Just when you're in the box and you're feeling the pressure. Correa, by the way, great assist by Correa. But Julian with just the presence. Calma, todo tranquilo. And he gets the goal, 2-1 victory for Atleti, and just the emotions. And you saw El Cholo going to celebrate with the players. It was just such a pure Atleti performance, and I absolutely loved it. Yes, you can talk about tactically, but football is about emotions, people. You have to feed off the emotions, especially at home for Atleti. And remember, they lost to Lille at home, and it wasn't a great performance. But today, They just know they're a good team right now. Yes, the Leganes game, one off. You lost 1-0. You really should have won that game or gotten a draw, but Dimitrovic with an incredible performance. But today was pure Atleti. They get the win. And I thought defensively and the way they just set up in that second half, every player just put their heart out and they got the victory. But by Leverkusen, that second half was shambolic, pathetic, because they didn't show up in that second half. I don't know what. Xabi Alonso probably went into the halftime and said, guys, we won this game. Do they not know they are away to Atleti? You have to play for 90. You have to kill them while they're there. They should have gone a 2-0, 3-0 lead, and then you can, relax the gears, put it back in first gear. They were at seventh gear, then they put it in first gear at halftime, and it cost them. And by Leverkusen, not a great performance. The Schick substitution at halftime made sense, but then they kind of got more exposed in the back, I would say. Obviously, Frimpong then kind of moved to the right wing back position because Mukiele came off. But that was not a good performance from Bayer Leverkusen in the second half. The two spectrums of Bayer Leverkusen's performance, the first half and the second half, was ridiculous. But Atleti, shout out to them. What a win. That was just awesome football right there. Bayer Leverkusen right now in 6th place in the standings, and Atleti now move all the way up to 3rd place. They got now 4 straight wins, beat PSG, beat Sparta Praha, beat Slovan Bratislava, they beat Bayer Leverkusen, and now Atleti, they're on a roll, people. You do not want to face this team at the moment. Now let's get to probably the wildest game of 24-25 season. Benfica 4, Barcelona 5. This team, Barcelona just love the number 5. I got 5 on it. Can we score 5 every week? Because this game just didn't make any sense. You know when people have the tactics board, and obviously shout out to the YouTube content creators or TikTok creators. If there's, I guess it's in America, it's still available. Shout out to all the tactics right there. But this game, you take the tactics straight to the trash, because this game is just wildness. The fact that Pavlidis, and all Benfica fans can agree with me, Pavlidis has been trashed this season. And nobody would have watched Benfica this season. They're like, my God, look at this wonder striker from Greece. They signed him from AZ Alkmaar for big money. He must be really good. No, Pavlidis has been trashed this season. And yet he got a hat-trick. That just shows you everything about this game. He gets a 30-minute hat-trick. Pavlidis, of all players. I mean, he scored some big goals. Like, he scored the big goal against AS Monaco earlier this season in the Champions League. The fact he got a hat-trick in 30 minutes was ridiculous. Benfica, that first half, were amazing. Carreras, the left back, I mean, he's been amazing all season. And, now you see Man United fans, oh my God, Carreras is really good. Yeah, we've seen it all season, people. It's no surprise. Ask Benfica fans. And I thought Benfica were fantastic. And Barca, that first half, were pretty abysmal. They didn't know what was hitting them. They were getting attacked down the left side consistently because Carreras was pushing up forward. Lamine wasn't really charging back, and they couldn't control anything in the midfield, especially Castro. Again, I thought Castro struggled big time again. That's on 2 straight games, one against Getafe, and now against Benfica, where Castro struggles. They get the penalty, all right? The 3-1, boom, fine. Then Benfica start the second half well. They have a couple chances. They can't convert. They get into good areas. They can't convert. Probably the greatest assist today in the Champions League and probably all season. Ruben straight. He puts it on a plate to Raphinha. Raphinha scores. Raphinha had no clue, right? No clue. Ruben, unfortunately, he's a very good goalkeeper. That's the costly mistake there. Then Benfica get it back to 4-2, and then the madness. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Barcelona because I thought just the comeback and the mentality to win this game is unbelievable. That's not a penalty, right? Lamine Yamal, I think it was Carreras who pulled him down. That's not a penalty. Come on now. That is soft in my opinion. Very, very soft. Then Garcia gets the equalizer from Pedri. Magician. Every time we get to watch Pedri, if he played in the Premier League or other teams in the Premier League, he would get so... Pedri is a pure magician. World-class midfielder, even at his age. He's going to be awesome to watch for the next decade. Just a pure magician. And then the wildness happens. Benfica are close to scoring. Now, I think it was Lucas Barrio who... No, it wasn't Lucas Barrio. I can't remember who... No, it was Lucas Barrio who got taken down in the box. Now, that could have been a penalty. And VAR did check it. But if I'm going to say Lamine Yamal's wasn't a penalty, I think this wasn't a penalty either. And Raphinha, just the dude who has stepped up consistently this season for Barcelona with big goal after big goal, scoring in El Clasico, scoring in El Clasico again, scoring against Bayern Munich, and now scoring again today. The game-winning goal in the 96th minute. You have to, like, I call Raphinha a man from Easter Island last season. And I think that was very harsh. And Raphinha, I'm sorry. Because this season, what Hansi Flick has just, I don't know, it's not even just, I think Raphinha has always had the ability from Vitória de Guimarães to Starene to Leeds. But now it's just a mental thing. Raphinha knows, I'm locked in this season. When you're locked in like Raphinha is, you play unbelievable football. Just the calmness as well. To sell a defender, put it into the back of the net. Fantastic from Raphinha. Okay, Benfica, it was the extra time. No, sorry, added time was just wildness because both teams were just attacking. Both teams wanted to win the game. And Barcelona win probably the wildest game of 2024-25 season. Unbelievable scenes, and this is what Barca needed. They didn't play a great game. I think they got fortunate with the 2 penalties. Well, not fortunate, but they were somewhat penalties, especially the first one from who made that tackle? Araujo and I think it was Balde. Stupid tackle, by the way. So, yeah, Barca didn't play well. They didn't create a lot of glorious chances, I thought, but they still showed a willingness to just score and score. And in these games, it's just about the will to win. In the game with Atletico by Leverkusen, character. This game, again, character from Barcelona to... It was 4-2 at the 75th minute, and to win it 5-4... Hands up to Barcelona for putting up a great performance. I feel bad for Benfica because I thought they actually played really well. I thought Otamendi, even though they conceded 5 goals, I thought Otamendi was great. I thought Ruben was pretty decent. Araujo in the right back position, I prefer Alexander Ball if I'm going to be honest, Benfica. And Seldrup was class. He was a bit quiet for the first 20 minutes, but then Seldrup grew into the game more and more. It's just like Di Maria had that one chance. I don't know, he might have been offside. If Di Maria just converted that one last minute chance, this game would have had a crazy finish for Benfica winning. But Barcelona, they win an insane game. Insane game, people. Like, I can't even get the words out right now. It's just like the Champions League just brings this sort of atmosphere, just brings this sort of vibe to it where you're just so entrenched to it. It's like a drug, basically. The UCL is a drug. And Barcelona have now scored 26 goals in 7 games in the Champions League. 26 goals. What is that now? 5 against Benfica, 3 against Dortmund, 3 against Stade Brestois, 5 against Cervantes Vesta, 4 against Bayern Munich. These guys, you do not want to play Barcelona in the Champions League. Now, defensively, they were not great today. Even Koundé was struggling big time. Araujo struggling. Kubarsi struggling. So, defensively, they have to get a lot better because they've conceded 11 goals in 7 games in the Champions League. But this attack, and with Pedri, can't deny it. That team will scare all the teams in the world. What a wild night, people. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of this Champions League night. This is why it is the best competition in the world. And remember to hit the subscribe button if you want more Champions League content. Get your thoughts in the comments down below. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And I'm off to bed. Adios.